Today I'm building a tiny theme park on top this massive cliff. Can we turn this useless piece of land into a thriving theme park complete with jaw-dropping roller coasters? Let's find out. Welcome to Sheer Cliffs. Huh, get it? Love this deadpan humor. Anyways, this park is built on a cliff with very little land and a hefty scenario goal. You see, we need to get 500 guests in this park with very little land, meaning no space for massive flat rides, unless we use the cliff to our advantage, creating the craziest roller coasters ever. The bad news is that we only start with mediocre coasters, not the monorail coasters I want. So for now we'll have to deal with just the flat rides we can fit on this long and thin strip of land. Kinda looks like California. Now this is Parkitect, a game like RollerCoaster Tycoon, where you have these cool scenarios with different goals. All part of a massive campaign with different parks. I already did kinda like half of the scenarios, and Sheer Cliffs is one of the more a mid-level scenario. No hard gas goals, just a creative challenge, which is what I love. Similar to RollerCoaster Tycoon, you get coasters, flat rides, shops and staff to manage. You have to make some money and sometimes take out a loan. What I love about Parkitect are the pieces you get. A lot more variety out of them instead of the simpler pieces from RollerCoaster Tycoon. Very easy to build, incredible architecture with a few simple pieces, making the learning curve far easier than Planet Coaster 2, a game I played like 3 times and haven't touched since. So let's go back to a park. What's going to be the theme of it? Well, I thought earlier about maybe British seaside theme, but the palm trees you get at the bottom of the scenario don't fit with that, so I went for a California beach theme. Think Venice Beach or the Colorado Hotel. That nice Victorian wooden theme, classical proportions but local character. So we have what would be a fun thematic beachfront hotels, changing out the colors but keeping the classic white trim. The large hotel specifically is a tribute to a hotel at Disneyland Paris. See if you recognize it in the comments below. Instead of heavy masonry, these buildings are defined by wooden construction, layered balconies, overhanging roofs, and lots of surface detail. In Parkitect terms, that means stacked wall segments, trim pieces, using the cornice and pillars. The white trim isn't just decorative, it's also used to outline the structural logic, floor lines, window groupings, and the roof edges, making large buildings feel reasonable and human-scaled. Historically, these kinds of beachfront hotels started appearing in California in the late 1800s and early 1900s, right when railroads made coastal travel accessible to middle and upper class citizens. Many of these hotels were designed by architects trained in Victorian and Beaux-Arts traditions, but they had to adapt those formal ideas to very different environment. The heavy use of wood was also practical. Timber was rarely available on the West Coast, cheaper than masonry and easier to repair in harsh coastal conditions. Specific railroad examples really define this style were the Hotel del Coronado, being built in 1888, probably one of the most famous reference points here. Then we also have the now demolished Arcadia Hotel in Santa Monica, so very cool architectural inspiration. Then let's build our single rail coaster. In real life, these are manufactured by RMC, though Intamin also makes a version of this, but the one in Parkitect similar to the RMC version. Because of the cliff, we have a very nice design challenge. It's one of those coasters that starts with a drop, goes into a loop, and then lots of curves and helixes, whatever the plural of helix is. Then we need to launch, and I copied Cheetah Hunt here, having a nice element at the top that slows down the train. So here is how our park is looking. A few buildings, a few rides, nowhere near where we need to be in terms of gas goals. Now let's build another coaster. This one I built off screen, sorry guys. It's a Gerstlaufen Eurofighter type ride with a huge drop. But the architecture is a bit different from the hospitality theme of our other buildings. You see, this is more vernacular, more rustic, it has a more industrial, maybe fishing feel, think Monterey, California, so the trim here is green with cheaper wooden tones. So how do we actually complete the scenario? So I just added 3 coasters, the single rail, Eurofighter and a wild mouse, but what makes the scenario are the flat rides. You can buy an island off the coast, but I wanted to challenge myself keeping only the actual cliff edge. So flat rides were an essential part of this scenario build. And after adding more rides, we were able to complete the scenario. So let's take a tour of our park. But don't stop here, the adventure continues. Join me for our next episode.